That's it for this piece. You want to stick around, do a little Q&A? Let's do that. And if not, take off. Thanks so much. Now let's get into a little Q&A. JH, hey, has anyone looked in one of the documentaries on the Chinese real estate? No, but you can tell that there's different parts that are collapsing. There are these ghost cities. Apparently that this was a big booming industry in China, was real estate development. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough people who could actually buy all this different real estate, and it just became a value sink, if you want to call it like that. So interesting times, and I think we were talking about Evergrande, always talking about Evergrande and their collapse, which was a huge real estate development company in China. They went under, and it was supposed to take the entire world down, but it didn't. So here we are. Maybe that's why they print money. 2 streams would be great. All right. You're not streams about Biddle, BlackRock, yada yada. Do you have any thoughts on Biddle so far? No, not really. So this is the different parts of crypto, another acronym. Kind of like DePIN, decentralized physical infrastructure networks. I don't really. Biddle movement believes that instead of just accumulating or trading cryptos, people should start contributing proactively in order to help adoption, improve the ecosystem people invested. Yeah, you can do that. My thing was always we should actually be using it for as a medium of exchange. But no one seems to like to do that. Yeah. Apparently everybody just wants to hold on to it and dump it on people. Let's see. Jose says, why did Satoshi only make 21 million? Why 21, an odd number? I don't have to ask him. We got to find that. All we got to do is find the guy. I'm sure it's not that hard to find him. A says, I think people just want you to relax. Look, if you've ever done this, I've done this for like 5 years. It's not a very difficult job, I'll be honest with you. Like I've had difficult jobs. Military, that was kind of a difficult job. Doing director of professional services for a large chain or global or a nationwide chain of home health agencies, kind of a difficult job. Real estate management, pain in the ass job. This is not a job. This is quite easy, actually. I get to sit around. I get to talk to you guys. When I'm done, go watch whatever sport's on. It's pretty simple. Who knows? Yeah. Gas fee says it right. How do we historically deal with out of control inflation? War. Brings everything down very quickly, actually. Boomed the economy as well. You can live in a house, but you can't live in Bitcoin. It's true. Bitcoin's great. It can do a lot of things for you, but it can't give you happiness. It can't give you time with your friends, family, and loved ones. It isn't those things, but it can give you those things over time. I think the big thing, though, is, and I've been looking into this, is how do you use your Bitcoin without selling it? That's the big thing. Because like what a lot of people do, there's this term in America, I don't know if it's everywhere, but it's called buy, borrow, die. And it's what a lot of the upper class will say. And not like super wealthy. A lot of people do it. So what they do is they will buy an asset, whatever that is, right? And they'll borrow against it. Let's say it's like a house, right? And then you borrow against that house and you have a loan. And you take that loan and you roll it into like either land or real estate or your small business, or you buy other assets or whatever else it is. And the loan that you take out, of course, there's no capital gains because it's a loan. And the loan itself is usually pretty low, depending on, the terms, 3.25 all the way up to like 7% or something like that. And as long as you have a generating asset, it works out pretty well. You just pay the loan off and boom, you have all these assets. And you can borrow against it and you can use it for yourself. The problem is that we saw the problem with Celsius and Voyager. Well, Voyager didn't do that, actually. Mostly Celsius and BlockFi. The thing is how were you able to do that, to have collateral with your Bitcoin or your crypto, and then of course handing over the asset or the keys itself. That's the big thing. And there's solutions that are coming out of multi-sig wallets where you actually put your Bitcoin into a wallet that you have a key, and then two other people or two other entities have the key, or three people have the key, and you all have to come to a consensus before that Bitcoin gets moved. You can get a loan out. I don't know. It seems like a real hassle. I think like at some point it might be awesome, but I know there's a couple of companies that are coming out with it. I'd rather just sit on the sidelines and just let all the pioneers deal with that and see if it works out for them. And if it works out, great. But that'll be a while. Should have done that with Celsius and Voyager. Should have done with Celsius. See, is that going to work out? Yeah. Yeah, me too. I tried lending my Bitcoin once, didn't work out. Yeah, it's because we gave away our keys. That was a big thing. John says, McLean, did you ever buy the Saga phone, the Saga phone from some from Phantom? No, Phantom. Oh, long day. Now the Saga phone came out, I want to say over a year ago. Was it a year ago? Let me see. Yeah, geez. A year ago on Solana. And then you could have, there was a lot of different things that you could pick up, especially like it would give you airdrops of bonks and different other coins. I never got one. And there's a second one that's already out that already sold out, I believe, in like under like 30 minutes, but never got it. Doug's got a good question. Interesting question asked to Joe Rogan. Thought I'd ask your opinion. Why is gold so popular if the metal is too soft to build with and does not conduct energy well? Well, apparently it conducts energy well enough to put on transistors and for our computer motherboards. So at some point it must do relatively well. And I know that there's another gold bug who talks about how it was made for a space shuttle mission and how they used gold and they used a bunch of it and that's what it was for. But remember, it's not like gold is like an absolute necessary item for connectivity. There's other metals out there, and only like 9.8% of what gold is used for is jewelry, conductivity, and different other ancillary products. The vast majority is just speculation, just like what we do with meme coins. So, I mean, and of course, if anybody asks, yeah, I own gold and silver. John McClain's a good point. Gold doesn't corrode like some other metals, yes. Let's see. Bitcoin is a keeper. J2J says, when Bitcoin is recognized as the superior asset, that will be the time to borrow against it. Yeah, I mean, and another thing you got to think about is this, is that once you borrow against it, it sounds like what I just talked about sounded pretty good, right? You're like, okay, I have one Bitcoin, right? So that's worth about $66,000. I'm going to take $33,000 out and I'm going to put a down payment for my house or for a commercial property or for an investment property, which is 20%. You do that, you're like, this is awesome. This is great. And everything is great until things start to not depreciate, but the value of Bitcoin starts to go down. Because remember, at some point, your collateral isn't worth your collateral. You have to collateralize. Sometimes you have to 2x or 3x the collateral amount for Bitcoin. And once the dollar value starts to drop down, they're like, hey, margin call, pal. So you gave us this Bitcoin, which at some point was worth 62,000. Now it's down to 50,000. Do you have more Bitcoin? No. Well, you better do something. You better either give us cash or we're going to have to liquidate you. And that is a taxable event. And then when that happens, of course, you're paying either short-term or long-term capital gains, depending on what had happened. So in this situation, like, it sounds good, but there's a lot of nuances to it to actually make it feasible for people. Unless you are Michael Saylor and you're like, you know what, I'm going to buy, what is it? How much does he have? Like 200? No, I can't have that, man. Let's see. Bitcoin Treasury. Let's see how much they have. Yeah, I was right. I'll be damned. 214. They have 214,400. I don't know if that's accurate up to the week or 2 weeks or a month, but let's just say 200,000. So if you're Michael Saylor and you're a billionaire, and you have a $1 billion evaluated company, then you can buy Bitcoin and, of course, be like a proxy for Bitcoin itself. And you are far superior to an ETF because, of course, you can short it, you can go long, you can do a lot of different things with it. You can't do it with an ETF right now. You can do that and then watch the stock price of your company go up, and then you can sell your stock for tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's a really good way to do things if you have that opportunity. I don't think most of us do. Lance says silver is the best conductor of all metals. Great. Let's just buy silver. I have some of that. Jonathan Moss says, but is that true? The other direction, if Bitcoin appreciates, they give you credit for the appreciation? Obviously not. No. Not that I know. Hey, Rob, you mentioned you were in the military. Were you stationed? So Fort Bliss, obviously, because I'm here in El Paso, Texas. Fort Lewis, Washington State, and Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, and then also, which everybody goes to, Fort Leonard Wood, Lost in the Woods, the worst place of all time. Crypto Miles, hey Rob, do you stake most of your alts? I don't stake most of them. I need to stake more of them. I just kind of fall behind on that one. I don't know. I know I need to do more of that. Yeah, the bank isn't going to give you money back for the appreciation. It'd be nice, though. Oh, that's fair. I'm talking about terms that match borrowing fiat now, no collateral. I don't know if there's anybody out there that'll do that for you. I mean, banks will do that depending on your credit rating, right? They'll give you some type of loan, and then of course, if there's no collateral, the interest rate's obviously higher. But that has nothing to do with crypto per se. I will say this though, if the best, I think the best and safest way to do things would be always have collateral in some way, shape, or form, because it'll make sure that you're going to pay things back. I've done this before. I've given loans out without collateral. I did that once, and it screwed me. And I learned a great lesson. That was it. Voyager did the same thing, but they loaned out $948 million and didn't do collateral. So they figured it out pretty fast. And then they went bankrupt. And then they stole our money. Why would anyone want an indoor pool? This is a green screen. Serge says, yesterday I bought a bunch of Pepe, and since then it burns. Serge. You know, I did see something pretty interesting that somebody spent $3,000 on Pepe, and they earned $46 million. Shoo. Yeah, and the Mad Chatter's got a good book on the Federal Reserve, Creature from Jekyll Island. Read the book. It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. PM says, hey, Rob, I'm from Macedonia, the Balkans. I'm into crypto for 8 years. Wow. Couple of questions. You can ask them. Might have some answers. They might even be good. Crypto Mike says, thanks for doing Sunday live stream. Those that work weekdays. Yeah. Yeah, why not? Sundays are good days. Yeah. You haven't lived until you've had a whole coin in Celsius nearly stolen by Mashinsky. Isn't that amazing? That guy's still free. Yeah. Near Protocol with a better AI coin. I can see that. I like Near Protocol. I have a lot of it. That's why. Our Joker. You're talking about Minutes project. Yeah, Minutes, MNT. I was able to secure a node. Congratulations, and tokens. Extremely bullish on the project and team. Those Walken brothers are fire. They're pretty smart guys. Oh, really? One on the topic of taking those as a collateral, Rand had an interview with Zuzu today. I think he's the other half of 3 Arrows Capital. Well, that'd be interesting. Get to listen to that guy tap dance and tell you why everything was fine. Hello, Starwell. From Hawaii. Nice. Great. I knew it was a green screen just commenting on indoor pool. Yeah, I don't know why people do indoor pools. Seems kind of ridiculous. How many AI coins do you hold? Theta, but I've been holding that for quite some time. Render and Aether, I got into an early round. That's a pretty big play. I still have some Fetch AI, Singularity. I don't have any Ocean Protocol. And gosh, that might be it. Might be a couple more I just forget. Oh no. Yam says, I have a complete business plan. Look, I'm going to tell you, if you send me anything about business plans and getting involved in something, I will always shoot it down. I rarely do anything outside of this. I got other things to do. So, but thanks. Yes. It's pretty good. You go on Fiverr, talk to this guy, G. Gensler, make you a nice green screen. Pretty cool. Yeah, that's true. Indoor pools are great because they don't have to clean them as much from the leaves, bugs, and other junk. That's totally correct. Yeah. You do the degen stuff though. Yeah, but like the degen channel is it's very few and far between. And I thought I was going to get into more projects, but the more projects that come to me, and they come, let me tell you, this project and this project, I'll get like 5 a week. And I got to have somebody research it, make sure it's on the up and up, and almost all of them is a waste of time. So I'm just like, well, there's only so much I can do, and I don't want to do it. Tim, how'd you get so rich? I'm not rich. Well, no, that's not true. Like, if you count rich being able to do the things that you want to do and not have to answer to anybody, then I'm pretty rich. But as far as like money goes, I mean, I do okay. It's just time. It's like everything. It's like being in the market. You just here for some time and you start to accumulate. Before you know it, hey, things are working out for you. So yeah. And I'm old too, so don't forget that. What market cap do you personally consider degen? It's not so much about that. It's about like the degen plays that I get into, they have no market cap. They're actually early rounds, just about to be get listed. And again, there's a link in the description called the Dan Degen channel. And on that channel, actually, and also in the description here, you can see there's a sheet called the 5% degen sheet, and it's a Excel spreadsheet. Well, it's a Google spreadsheet. And means all the things that I invested into, how much I invested into, and how much I made. So we've talked about this many times. And these are the new ones. Katamoto, IO.net, Rainmaker, Aether, Minutes, Alvara, Xborg, Ivanpay, Farcana. And those are just kind of coming around. But the ones I did before did pretty well. Sweatcoin, Fame, Everdome, Gensukishi, my favorite, because I made so much money on that one. And it's still around. It's still a good project. Southeast Asia, different parts of the EU still play it. Invested 5,000. All-time high was 540,000. Pretty good. Did I sell at the top? No, I couldn't, because I have, when you get in early like that, you have cliffs and investing tranches, and it unlocks every so often. So Law says, why should the price of XRP rise because Ripple issues a stablecoin? Depends on the way that they actually use the stablecoin. If you actually have to use XRP kind of like gas, I could see that. But to me personally, my question is, what's going on with Ripple and XRP? I own a little bit of it. I got out of it, a while ago. I still hold a little bit, but that's a project that just, why do they need to issue a stablecoin? Isn't XRP a stablecoin? It still sure seems like it. Exactly. XRP is a stablecoin. When the cornucopias video with Josh and Rob, not sure, but I'll probably see them at Consensus in Austin in about a week or so. So I'll play the game, see where it goes. Bot. Tesla's here. Bot, I don't know if you saw it, but on X, I posted that TPS report for all the different altcoins. So you can see it again. But everybody was posting it yesterday, so. Neutrinos. Bitcoin is going to flip everything because it will eventually be able to do everything. One network to rule them all. I think Neutrino could be right. Not everything. And what he's talking about is the market cap of all corporations, institutions, and everything else. But it can't flip like, say, it could, I guess, the global real estate market at $286 trillion. That'd be kind of crazy. Maybe at some point, I suppose. But I think Bitcoin can do a lot more than what it is right now, but it needs layer twos. There's a great website called L2.watch. And I wish there was a way to sort this, but see where it says native token right there. Like you can see that there's layer 2 solutions coming up that are built right on top of Bitcoin. Like, ARC. I don't even know what that is. Bison, no idea. Bitcoin VM, I heard about. BitSmiley, no idea what that is. Botanics, no idea what that is. Citru, nope. DriveChain, nope. Helios, nope. Lightning, well, everybody knows Lightning Network, right? Mercury Layer, Nostr, okay. Nubit, Omnibolt, Satoshi Protocol, Side Protocol, ZK Sats. Where is Core? Oh, it's right here. Genius. So CoreDAO is a side chain, actually. CoreDAO is listed in the top 60, I want to say, by now. And just like how you have layer 2 solutions for Ethereum, this essentially is layer 2s that are built right on top of Bitcoin, which is the most decentralized and secure computerized network in the entire planet. So, and it can do a lot of things. So that's where I see that Neutrino could be right, but it's going to take layer 2s, I think. I think so. Oh, Rob, did you catch Charles Hoskin showing off Hydra the other day? Looks promising. Was this the one where he was playing the Doom game on Hydra and it was working pretty well? Let's see when it rolls out. That's all I can say. Did I see that ADA had an L2? I don't know. Aneta Bitcoin. I don't know what that is. Aneta. Could be. All right. Chainlink is pumping. Yeah, we talked about it. It's a funny thing, you know. People say, it's not doing anything. It's not a good one. Let me invest in these meme coins, which is fine. You're gambling. Then, of course, you realize like, oh, so Chainlink is working with JP Morgan, BNY Mellon. They're doing real world assets and transferring things from banks to banks across the globe. I see. Maybe this actually does have function. And then you get back into it and it's already pumped. You're like, damn it. That's the thing about investing. You got to be really patient sometimes. What would be better ROI, Bitcoin or layer 2 on Bitcoin? ROI, as far as like, return on investment is going to be layer 2s. That's pretty simple. But the question is, which layer 2? That's what you have to think about, because a lot of those layer 2s aren't going to make it. Look at Ethereum. I mean, has Arbitrum massively overperformed? No. Has Polygon, which is a side chain, and then a ZK rollup, it's been doing nothing but bleeding against Bitcoin. I mean, that one's been a real dog for quite some time. And maybe in the next bull run, and I hope it does well because I own a bag of it, but even the next bull run, maybe it'll go up. So the ROI is probably gonna be layer 2s. The question is, which one is it actually gonna be? So there's always that risk versus reward. And that's why like my portfolio is 70 to 75% Bitcoin. Yeah. Swap some Bitcoin to fetch on Tangem, 1.5% fee. Seems high to me. Or is that normal? That's I don't use the swap method on Tangem. I think they partnered up with MoonPay. Hold on, what did I do? And MoonPay is always the most expensive that you can possibly get. What I would do, I mean, you can do it. It's very easy. 1.5% seems kind of high. For fetch, there's another way to do it, but that's outside of the scope of this video right now. And it's probably a little bit lesser, but when does Aether launch their coin? It's supposed to be Q2 of this year. So you're looking at between end of this month and next month. Yeah. Hama says, when is AYA coming out? What do you think is going to do better than World Mobile Token? Well, first of all, so that's what World Mobile Token is using, as I believe it's a side chain for AYA. And that's essentially their chain. I don't know if it's going to do better or just as well, if it's going to be reobserved. I don't know actually how it's going to go through, which you can see. And a lot of people were really ticked off at this. Yeah. Because World Mobile launched on Cardano. And then when they came out with this, AYA, I think it's their protocol layer, they're like, hey, you moved away from Cardano. No, not really. Everything's gonna be multi-chain. You can't just have everything on one chain. It doesn't work like that. I mean, even like as great as Solana is, and people say, oh, it's so fast and it's so great. How many times have you used Solana and it's had a slowdown? Some of you will say never, but I got to tell you, I've done a lot of things with meme coins, bonk rewards, and things like that. A lot of failures lately. So, yeah, AYA is the side chain. I'll run on every Earth node, allowing Earth node operators to take part in the sharing economy, change the world, blah, 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 blah. Now, side chain. How many sats should I buy today? Everything, Beardy. Buy as much as you possibly can. Grant says, iTRUST Capital is a nice selection of alts, but it's limited. What are your favorite alts from iTRUST if you use it? I use iTRUST. I use them for like 3 years. In my portfolio, this is what's great with, well, that's not great, but with what I have in there, let me see. I have Ethereum, Bitcoin, gold, and silver. Avalanche, I think, and one other one. But I was just talking to the guys there because iTRUST had a relationship with Fortress, and Fortress was there for their holding for their assets. And I wasn't really impressed with them, and they just moved away from them to do their own custody service. So they're going to have a separate entity, which will all be off balance. Again, that's the big problem with FTX and why they went down, because they put everything on balance and used your crypto. I never used FTX. I just got screwed over in Voyager and Celsius. So on FTX, they used your crypto to buy all their houses and whatnot, but it was all on balance. But again, with iTRUST, they're going to be doing everything off balance with this new company that they've already created for custody services. Yeah. Oh, and good news, Crypto Goldler. iTRUST. I wish iTRUST would listen here. Guess what? They're looking to add in 30 more different altcoins. Don't tell anybody I told you that, because I don't think I was supposed to. But that's what's going to happen. That's a good question. If you don't, if anybody's like, what the hell is he talking about as far as iTRUST? The big problem with crypto is, and retirement, is taxes, right? There's a way, so I think it's a pretty good way, to put into a retirement account called a Roth IRA. And you can do regular Roth IRA, backdoor Roth IRA, just depends. And when you take it out, of course, this is after 59 and a half years old, you pay 0% in capital gains tax. And people say, well, Rob, don't you live in Puerto Rico? Don't you pay 0% in capital gains tax? Yeah, right now, but not forever. And when 59 and a half comes up, and it's coming up fast, maybe I won't be in Puerto Rico at that point. So when I take things out, I want to have that little egg right there. I'm always trying to plan. I don't get it right all the time, but I try to be as careful as I can. So if you go on there's a link in the description, iTrust Crypto IRA, why a crypto IRA? There's the link to it, and there's the affiliate link. You don't have to use the affiliate link. You can go right to iTrust.capital and sign up, but you don't get a $100 sign up bonus. So take it as worth. That's it. Yeah. Yes, and they actually have a program that for your Roth IRA, they have a program to transfer it in for your kids or your grandkids or whoever else you want it for. But you have to talk to those guys over there about it. That's a good question. End of year prediction for Solana. Sure. Let's see. I think Solana's around 175 right now, somewhere around there. I think the all-time high was 260, somewhere around there. Something like that. So let's go from Solana, the end of 2024 will be between $5 and $10,000. Yeah, that's it. See, look, nailed it. Between 5 and 5,000, exactly. Somewhere in between there. I mean, don't quote me. It could go to $5,000 and $10, or maybe it could go to $4. One of those two is going to happen. But somewhere in between, pretty sure. You want to hear the Bitcoin price prediction? All right. So Bitcoin price prediction, it's going to be somewhere between $10 and 500,000 by the end of the year. Now, it could go above that, maybe below, but somewhere within that range, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't really know. But there's a lot of indicators I look at. MVRV score, RSI, POE multiple, pi cycle tops. And there's a video in the description where I talk about that, about the different indicators that when you kind of see like the blow off top. And again, links in the description. Watch these two videos. The one on top is for like the blue chip cryptos, and the one on bottom is for like the meme coin, crazy, make a bunch of money, or lose everything type of situation. So those are the two videos. Check those out. Why so bearish? Woo! A lot of people said Bitcoin 140K. I can see that. I can actually. And the reason why I can see it is because of the 13F filings that we just got a report on. Did you know that the IBIT Bitcoin ETF had over 440 participants, which apparently blew away all the other ETFs through BlackRock? 440 versus like roughly the average is 4 to 6. They had 440. Unbelievable. What is Ben thinking for end of year predictions for Bitcoin? 60% Bitcoin dominance, which he almost nailed it with the 60% Bitcoin dominance, but that's without stables. So just on there, I'm like, it's pretty good. And people were laughing. They're like, no, altcoins are here. And I personally was like, I don't know if it's right or not, but I'm going to keep buying altcoins. But he was good there. Crypto Mike says, what are the 13 Eth filings? Let me show you something. You're going to love this. So 13 Eth filings, that's where all the different institutions and big players, when they bought the Bitcoin ETF itself, they have to register that with the SEC for their corporation. And they say, this is what we have as far as these ETFs. And because of that, I was so entranced and excited for that, I put together a little slideshow, which I know a lot of people have seen, but here we go again. So this was all again, there was like 400 plus, but these were the big names. Fund manager Booth Bay, 150 million. Millennium Management, $2 billion. And of course, that's Dave Ramsey, can't believe it. Fund manager Pine Ridge, $205 million. Jim Cramer, cannot believe it. State of Wisconsin Investment Board, they hold almost $100 million of BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF. Switzerland's largest bank, UBS Group, discloses ETF holdings. And of course, there's Pete. Also another Peter Zeihan, who was on Joe Rogan, about a year ago or so when Bitcoin was around 17,000 and said it was going to go, he said it was 16,000, but it had another $17,000 to go down. And it was worthless and has no intrinsic value, which is fine. Everybody's got their opinion. And he can't believe either. Bank of Montreal, ETF holdings. Hedge fund Bracebridge Capital, $262 million. And then let's not forget our buddy, Jamie Dimon, who, of course, his bank has ETF holdings, as well as Edmund de Rothschild, on top of Rubric Capital, Wells Fargo Bank, and also, I don't know if you know this guy, his name is Dan Pena. In 2018, he said, you're all a bunch of effing morons because it's going to go to zero. Effing zero. And Morgan Stanley discloses that they hold it for their clients. So that's the 13 Eth filings. If you would like to find that, let me just pop that into the... You'd like to share that with your friends, I'm going to put this in the comments. And they can't believe either. So there you go. Let's see. Prazninya. I bought alts despite thinking dominance will go up. Me too. Because you need a 1-year holding period to get into long-term capital gains tax. Excellent point. That's a really good point. I really should bring that up. Thank you. So yeah, with the Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance went up. I knew it would go up. And then when we're doing the NFA live show, me, Ben, and Guy, or me, Ben, and Jess, or me, Ben, and Nick, there's always that question, they're like, Ben, is it altcoin season? He's like, no, it's not altcoin season. No, it's not altcoin season. And of course, if you look at that, we talked this yesterday. Golly. Don't tell Ben I showed you this. Let's see. The altcoin season index. When you want to be in the altcoin season, it means that over the last 90 days, essentially, the last 90 days, you have to have 75% of alts who did better or that did better than Bitcoin. And in this situation, you only had like 12. You had Pepe, Dog with Hat, Arweave, Toncoin, Shiba, which coincidentally the top 5 were meme coins. So what does that tell you? Near, Bitcoin Cash, Dogecoin, blah, 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 right? And now here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin has to be on this side over here. Actually, like right here. And that would mean that, okay, we're in altcoin season. It's outperforming over 90 days. The problem with this one, like you put out there, Praz, was that once you're in this point when it is altcoin season, you kind of missed a lot of the gains. But if you want to be safer, you can say, okay, now here's altcoin season. It's been 90 days. I'm just going to catch that wave going and I can ride it all the way in. And that's fine. I have a higher risk tolerance. I think we all do. So a lot of us here on this channel is probably like, whatever. I'm going to get into EOS like me and Beardy did. and just ride that baby all the way through. And that's pretty much what it is. But, and again, I will remind everybody that, like, and we talked about this yesterday, Cardano's been underperforming, Polygon massively underperforming, Caspa, SWI, which if you look at that newsletter or that documentation from CoinGecko, SWI is the #2 fastest chain out there as far as real transactions per second, or TPS, right behind Solana. But Chainlink, which we see right here, has been massively underperforming Bitcoin, down 16%. So, and what did we just talk about today? Just everything they're doing with real world assets. So for this one, I got to tell you, like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you get in early, you got to take the ridiculement. If you are like a genius like me, putting all the information out there and letting people ridicule you, which is not a good idea. Or you just say, I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and wait till like a certain point. When I see it's like altcoin season, then I'll ride the wave up. But I know there's less risk, but there's less returns. I want to take more risks. I know there's more returns, but I could go to zero. Yeah, that type of thing. Ah, pros. That's good. We are actually in wrench season. At least half the chat is wrenches. We're slowly. True. Welcome Logistics is a new digital asset news member. Now you can, for that $5 a month or whatever it was, that you can now use special emojis or whatever. Thank you. EOS whales. Oh. Well, look at that. Digital Assets. Join us Tuesday night on the Trump Spaces, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love to hear from veteran influencers on crypto helping others. Cool. I'll do that. You know how to get a hold of me. Interesting. Doing that. Wednesday, I got to go get stem cells for my crappy back. Let's see. Can you mention turbo prediction? Let's find out what turbo actually is. That'd probably help me out a lot more. Where's everybody? All right. So let's see. TURBO, turbo. This one? Bro, this is ranked like 504. Well, it is what it is. All right. Total supply, 69 billion. Max supply, 69 billion. I like that. Circulating supply, 69 billion, which means this has got to be a meme coin because when they launched it, they put it all out there. And that's one thing I can respect. Instead of these stupid cliffs and vesting periods and unlocks and trash, that's what all the VCs get to dump on everybody. Anyhow, market cap, 89,506,000. What was last? Hey, in 1 year, it's up 123%. Okay, price predictions. Excellent. Wow. Sure. This, at the end of this year, for 2024, turbo will be between 0.00002 and $10,000. You can take that to the bank. All right. Cheap Pepe. I don't know what that is. Is that another meme coin? Yeah, me too. I had a lot of wine yesterday myself. Yazid Youssef. That's a good question. Where do you think we go from here? Yazid, this is a great question. I think in the near term, what we talked about today, if the president vetoes this, which I think he's going to do, although if he was smart, he could sense which way the political winds are blowing, and it's in favor of crypto. For Pete's sakes, even Chuck Schumer, who was the Senate lead, voted for this. That's his number 2 guy as far as a Democrat, and he can't see that. If he vetoes this, you're going to see the market react, and it's going to be negative. And it could be, I don't think it's even violence. It's going to be one negative thing to add to it, but it'll recover. No big deal. Some people will get paranoid and they'll sell, but that's not us. If you've been here, if you've listened to this show for, I don't know, over a week, you're probably like, well, this is just normal. So So there's this one, and then the Fit21 bill. If that one goes through, I think it will, because it's going to the House. I think the House is majority owned by Republicans. Correct me in the comment section. But if that goes through, just like the other one, the 191, 109, if that goes through, you're going to see a pump. If these both get knocked down, you're going to see probably Bitcoin below 60. And the last one, Ethereum ETF, this will be the pretty, yeah. Most of us assume this is not going to get passed, so I don't see this to have too much of an effect unless it actually goes through. If this goes through, congratulations, Ethereum holders. You're going to go above $4,000. That's it. Retire on EOS coming soon. You can retire on EOS. You just have to dump it on everybody. That's it. Hold on. All right. Nobody's here. Shaolin's here. Yeah. Sith Lord Tato. If it goes down, I see a big sale and buy more. Yeah. And remember, just like we talked about yesterday, remember where we're at in this cycle. And even I get myopic. I get tunnel vision. Because I think everybody should be able to see that. The ROI right now, like let me get out of here. 3, 2, 1. This is us, this nonsense. The return on investment after the halving, April 20th. And we started to really go up in January after the ETF was approved. Then it went down. Now we're like kind of neck and neck for what we were. So we're like even, Steven. But look how far away the last cycle. I don't really care about the ROI itself. Maybe you're looking at like 8x or whatever it was. But just look at the time frame. Here's cycle 2 and here's cycle 1. Even if we, you know what is interesting? I never noticed this until right now. Do you notice how fast that cycle 1 went up? I mean, it was a different era, right? 2013. But because the ROI was so high, it was so quick and it burns out, which is usually what happens here, right? No, it's not true, because ROI 2 or cycle 2, you can see it lasts a little bit longer than cycle 3. And then here we are with cycle 4. Cycle 4, I don't know if you can see it. This is us right here. We got a long way to go. So, yeah, that's it. The ticker is Tooker. That's right. That is my favorite. That is my second favorite meme coin right now. And do you know why? Because it's super entertaining. Let me show you. Well, let's go here. Tucker Carlson. It's funny. It's kind of like, if you remember The Daily Show, when Daily Show was funny, it's kind of coming back now. But it's kind of like that, but just a little bit more with our humor. And they have a meme coin to it. And then what they do is that they get sponsors. They take the sponsor money and they do buybacks and burns for their Tucker token. And I was like, hey, if that's how it works, and just watch a couple of these and tell me if they're not entertaining for you. It's entertaining for me. So yeah. Yeah, all the AI voices are spot on. They're really good, especially Tucker Carlson. Gary Gensler was pretty good, but they had one on that was awful. But most of them are good. Klaus Schwab is right on point. Hey Rob, at what price will you sell 80% of your NEAR? Well, that's easy. Watch this video. Just watch this video. It's with everything. It's with the Bitcoin and altcoins. And you just follow those indicators. And that's what I'm going to go. You're probably going to want to put in some more indicators and go from there. Oh, look at MAGA hat on ETH chart. Now we're getting crazy. Hold on real quick. Hold on. This dog always barks. Calm down. Calm down. It's okay. All right. All right, I'm going to go. Sorry about that. Hey, that's it for today, everybody. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we talk about is time sensitive, but that's it for today. Again, I think even though we're a little volatile, we're doing pretty good. And stick around for the long game. You're going to like where we end up. That's it. Thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you guys on the next one. Adios.